Wow, peaks. Yeah, no, this, purely by memory, I would say this is the worst dungeon in the game. It probably isn't, but it's probably the worst quit point, because for whatever it's worth, I am not the only person I know who put the game down here. So, let's go ahead and scooch forward, now that we're here. Whew. This is also when they started using heavy focus on staggering. Like, obviously staggering existed back in, like, Brescia. Strange. But you could tell that the stagger focus was way higher here. Because some of these enemies are just, you can't. You just cannot push through them without staggering them. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, as I've said. But I think that combined with everything else, it just, like, adds an extra little bit of pushback when the player's already irritated, right? And it's just like... There's a save point, Rock. Could have gone like 10 feet forward and got to a save point. I am shocked the game hasn't crashed yet. Knock on wood. I keep expecting it to happen. I was thinking about it too. True, Blitwell. Another game that has the stack issue, where things have to resolve before they can move forward, is FF12. I can actually point to an exact example of that, but anybody who's played FF12 probably knows what I'm talking about. The exact example occurred to me while I was laying down earlier. Was in several cases in FF12, there will be a moment where, like, your character will die. You're at 0 HP. You have died. You can't take any more actions. But there's about a 2 to 3 second pause, which can get longer depending on what's happening, where the animation of you being dead has to finalize before you are then acknowledged as dead. Now you're probably thinking, that doesn't sound like a bad thing. Well, actually, you can play with that. If you're good enough, if you're quick enough, you can self-res with one of your other party members before you actually finish dying. And therefore don't actually have to enter a true death state.
Something up there.
Like, you'll be like, 0 HP, and you start to fall over, and then, gotcha. Well, Earthbound had the HP rolling thing, but the problem with FF12 is it doesn't apply to just health, it applies to everything. I just used that example because I used to abuse that whenever I was doing, like, hunts above my level grade, right? When I really wanted to just punch above my weight limit.
Hold it together.
Exactly, Blade Yeah, because the problem in FF12 is that animation delay is mostly against you. It's like, okay, cast on this guy. Alright. And you're just sitting there holding it. Holding the cast, because there's other animations that are in the middle of resolving first. And so you can't actually finish your animation until their animation is finished. And so it goes in the queue. It is the same problem. It was a problem in FF10 too, it's a problem in FF12, and it's a problem here. It would not be surprise me if under the hood it is actually the same code. It is similar to a problem that KOTOR had back in the day, where KOTOR, billed itself as real-time, but isn't. Like, in every way that matters, KOTOR was a turn-based game. The difference there was in the FF's case, I think it's specifically that animations have to finish playing before events can be queued. Whereas in KOTOR, events cannot be queued until an internal tick has happened, which was about 3 to 5 seconds. But from the player's perspective, it results in the same general idea of you sitting there and being like,
Isn't that
A warship from Pulse.
You mean they made it this far?
Of course not. Not during the war, and not since. They might have tried, but none of their forces made it into Cocoon. They only damaged the outer rim. Then the Sanctum's Fal'Cie pushed them back. What'd you, sleep through history?
More or less.
literally. Sorry.
What's a ship from Pulse doing here?
Once the war was over, people couldn't live near the rim anymore, in places like the Hanging Edge. So the Fal'Cie, they gathered up scrap from Pulse and used it for rebuilding here. This is what was left. A bunch of garbage.
Who'd have thunk? A Pulse Fal'Cie and who knows what mixed in with all the trash.
Who'da thunk?
Aw, poor Vanille. Thank you, Black Wolf Slayer. And if you want to put that towards up to 3 future streams, please let me know.
I'm gonna go peek ahead.
Do me a favor.
Oh,
Stop wandering off and stay where I can keep my eye on.
and thank you, Cookie Dude. Give me a moment. I will jot that down. Give me a second to pull up my document. Lord Slay the Princess, FTL, and Dark Cloud. Appreciate you both. So remember I mentioned that visual continuity problem? That's the other interior of Cocoon up there, but you can't really tell, can you? This is part of what I was talking about earlier. That just looks like a horizon going off into the distance and not crawling up like it should be. Now, again, I'm not really trying to say this to bash the game. If I wanted to bash it for 13, I have ways of doing that. No. I'm just demonstrating what I mentioned at the end of the last stream. That it really felt, especially given how much they had to cut down and cut content in order to make this work, that they wanted to do that and couldn't. So those kind of pseudo-constellations, that's the compromise. To get across the idea that you're inside of Cocoon here. Inside the geosphere. Hey, Mr. Red. Whoops, I actually screwed that up.
Follow the old guy's lead.
Yeah, Fal'Cie can do a couple of extremely limited things, and that's kind of it. So most of the Fal'Cie on Cocoon are programmed to maintain Cocoon. There's actually a bunch of Fal'Cie. We don't actually see most of them. We just see a few of them. Like, we already saw one. Phoenix up top, which is maintaining the artificial sun.
I appreciate it.
I mean, they certainly feel like they can't do anything. So I hate to keep complaining about the paradigms, but did you notice that every time there's any kind of party change, they just kind of adjust your paradigms, and in most cases don't even tell you? Sometimes they tell you, sometimes there's a little scene that pops up that says, hey, your paradigms have shifted. Other times, they don't tell you at all. You just have new paradigm setups. Normally this is fine. Like if I suddenly change your party makeup, obviously your kit is going to change because I've changed your party as per the narrative rules. The problem in FF13 is most of what kit is boils down to your paradigms. So having that change on me all willingly without even telling me just kind of throws me. Oh, and to answer you, Blake Duvall, I have been trying and failing, obviously, to get some back attacks pretty much this entire level. Yeah, you notice this new setup that they have handed me is very heavily focused on buff, and then debuff, and then damage, in that order.
Ha! Change in the play.
Do I have data for these? I do. Okay. Did you see the bug, by the way, Rex? Most noticeable in the Shiva fight, but it's a bug in general. Yeah, the fact that we're triple Rav is interesting, especially since this is the default. Oh, I'll show you. Check it out. I'll give you a second, see if you notice anything wrong with this screen. See, this is kind of a problem in general, but the later into the game we get, the worse this is going to get, as enemies get more and more complex, and bosses get more and more complex. But it's really awful for the summons. I am going to have to walk through every single summon because of this bug. I'll put that towards FF12, the beat 'em up block, and Kingdom Hearts string drop distance. Yeah, imagine you didn't know that there's data supposed to be there. That's actually worse, you're right. So, first, thank you, Zalir, very much. Always appreciate the sub. I've got it for all three of those games. Second of all, yeah, so immediately under the enemy there, that space that looks like it's locked aside in the real estate of the screen for text, is supposed to have text. There's supposed to be hints there that get across what you should be doing for a specific fight. And that's your combat log, right? Your dungeon journal, to use the WoW equivalent. It's not there. Doesn't work. Well-known bug. There is a fan patch for it, but I mean, if it's not obvious, we're playing a completely unpatched version of the game. So like I said, on certain bosses that will suck, and on basically every summon, I'm going to have to go Google what to do on the summon. The bug doesn't exist in the PS3 version of the game. It has to do with how it renders resolution.
Want me to check things out?
There is actually a relatively easy fix, which doesn't involve using a fan patch. All I have to do is play at minimum resolution. No, I'm not doing that. Don't ask. That is the solution, though. I could just crank the resolution down. I think it's 720, which I suppose sounds entitled? Privileged? I'm not sure what word it is there, but let me be very clear. 720 is about this.
I owe ya.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
I appreciate it. Follow the old guy's lead.
Actually, hang on. Do I have a... I don't. I do not have a commando set up here at all. Wow. I'm going to check to see if I can set up a comm Rav after this. I might not have access to it at this moment. If you remember, one of the other things... We're up to like 6 things now that makes the Vile Peak suck. One of the other things... about this area is that we actually have kind of a limited kit at this point. We haven't really gotten to really play around with what we could do with the paradigms or the combos yet. So, let's see. Yeah, he does not have commando. Neither, no, I don't have commando. I was right. I do not have a commando at all. Okay. That's not gonna do about that. Is that everything? Nope, I'm missing one thing. There we go. And he is capped. Pretty sure she's already capped on medic. Yes, she is. I'll go ahead and start pushing her Ravager so she can do something. Oh, he's already capped there. And he's capped there. Wow. Hope is close to capped. One of our first characters to almost cap. I guess what I could do. Hang on, there's a thought. Hang on. Oh, well, I can't do that. I can do this instead. See how that feels. Although, actually, what I really should do... Hang on, it just occurred to me. Let's just start on the one that... Oh, that is the one that buffs and debuffs. Never mind. Well, yeah, no, actually, let's stay with that. To my knowledge, yes, but hang on, sorry, hang on. Now I'm debating, sorry. But yeah, once you spend Exp, it's there, it's gone. Sucks to be you. Go get more Exp. Or Crystarium points. See, that's what I'm debating, Rex. I guess, okay, so hang on, let's push this up. Let's start on the debuff. And we got the heal, if we need it. So we start on buff and debuff, and then we'll adjust this and switch her to Saboteur for this. So we've got Rav, so we'll start on Rav, Saboteur, sorry, no, we'll start on Synergist, Saboteur, Synergist, and then we'll switch to Rav, Saboteur, Ravage. And that'll probably have to do. It's sure a good thing that something in the game somewhere conveyed to that I could do what I just did, because nothing has! Sorry, I've been paying very careful attention to the tutorials so far, and they have been lacking. Some stuff has been conveyed. Not all.
I appreciate it. Time to pull the old switcheroo.
I think I mentioned on the previous stream, but to repeat myself for Rax's sake, the time I was playing this legit, I ran into this problem where I started making custom paradigms. I stumbled into it in the menu. Oh, it is snowing. I stumbled into the menu. I was like, I'll just make my own custom stuff. And I think I just had no idea what I was doing. Because my damage output went way down. Like, way down. You know what I should do, actually? Yeah, I think I should do that. Yeah, I know there's good combos. Again, I followed speedrunning this game for a while there. I know that there are really good combos, but I couldn't figure out what the hell they were off the top of my head. Especially at this point of the game.
Follow the old guy's lead.
Where does his boomerang go? Don't answer that. Alright, so I just had a thought. Let's customize this slightly. Do that, actually. That's our recovery setup right there. Yeah, Vanille is kind of in a weird place right now. This ties into what you already said, Rax. Probably the single biggest problem with the Vile Peaks is that it's too long. Like, we spend too much time in this particular we can't fully do stuff phase.
Tough times, huh? Thanks.
Realize I'm targeting the wrong target. I do agree that this game doesn't have as bad of a feedback issue as FF12 does. But it does have a bit of a feedback issue. Like, I don't mean any offense by that. But for real, how many of you are keeping up with what's happening here? For example, right now we're a fully buffed team. The enemy is fully debuffed. Yeah, the delay is the issue, for real. Just, yikes. For what it's worth, I am at least playing the game now, which, for whatever that's worth, I am actually appreciating. This is why I've argued a tutorialization negative. In addition to the stuff that the game just doesn't convey to you. There's this weird problem it has where it kind of encourages you to do the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Anybody who's played this game knows what I mean. The auto battle thing alone is a perfect example of that. You'll notice that even at this particular point in time, the game is still encouraging me to auto battle. That will, at a certain point of the game, stop. There'll be a point in the game where I'll have to start being like, okay, do this, and then this, and, you know, do that way. At least for real fights. But not much conveys that. So, speaking from personal experience, what tends to happen is you just start to run into a wall, and you're not really sure why. Like, it's weird giving a negative to auto battle, but it's not really the auto battle that's the problem. It's just the fact that the game leans on it so heavily at the beginning of the game when the player is learning the tools and the kits of the game and is starting to figure out how they play and how they want to play, and you get it. Hey, Brown Jacker. Oh. Neck. I meant to ask Valerian, but now I get to ask Brown Jacker. What's your favorite thing about the game, if you don't mind sharing? Like, what's something you really like about this game? It really Tetrises it for you. Oh, I know, it's great, isn't it, Moog? I can't wait to give positives to it. Speaking of feedback.
Hold it together. Changing gears.
I don't want to overpraise 13-2, but I have a fairly strong feeling that 13-2 will score much higher than 13, if and when we get there. I mean, that's kind of what I'm referencing, Blade to Vault. The game encourages you to do things that are wrong. I need to see. I keep kind of waiting if the game will ever do a thing where it'll actually tell me how to do the memory cursor. Because there is a way to do that. And I don't remember what it is. And the game hasn't told me yet. It'll be very helpful later on. Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Nope. It's not that. No, okay. Oh, I think that's it. It's right. I have to hit, go down, hit right. There's actually something else they can do. No, you literally hold right, and it just repeats the same action. Here's the funny thing. That's not helpful by itself. But there is a setting. Default battle command. So later on in the game, you really want to switch this down. I might actually do this now just to get used to this. You want to switch this down to abilities, because right now, if you manually put in abilities, it's extra button presses to do that. And then if you want to repeat them, it is still extra button presses to do that. You want to set your default battle command to abilities, at which point you are coming very close to doing auto battle anyways. You just have more command over it, so you can quickly swap if you need to, and get a little bit more of an idea of what your abilities do as you're doing them.
Hey, welcome to the party.
You miss us?
Would it kill her to smile?
Time to move.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, our paradigms just got shifted, so let's mess with that again. Okay, does she have anything other than Commando? She does have Ravager. Why don't we switch to Ravager, Synergist, Saboteur. And then Medic, and yeah. Although, I feel like her staying on Saboteur... No, I don't know. Ravager, Commando, Saboteur feels unnecessary. But you know what doesn't feel unnecessary? Why don't we do this? Let's set this up as Commando. This up as Rav. So there's our just Rav, Com, Rav, right? And let's just set up Diversity as the default. Ravcom Med. Wait, people like Minfilia? Oh my god. I'm sorry, that sounds so harsh. That's such a dick saying. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that as a dick thing. I have never heard of anybody who likes Minfilia. Yeah, but I don't have anything else to put there, Rex. It's like, okay, so we got diversity. Yep, that's our default. We've got gorilla, that's our buff debuff. End statement. How do you like Minfilia? Just an ARR. How do you like Minfilia in ARR? That's just the same as I just did. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Don't even care. Don't even care. Nothing matters. There is no hope. And I believe, yep, she is now capped. Are you starting to notice the problem, by the way? Most of these people are already capped on their primary job. Think about that for a second. Also keep in mind that that means that pretty much by default, they can't get stronger. Not until the Crystarium upgrades again. Yeah, it's the same anti-grind problem we had back in Chrono Cross. Not as bad, but it is still there. So it means in any given case, there is a finite amount of grind that is possible. And given there is no other real way of increasing your power, well, here we are.
Let's get this over with.
But you get the idea, right? The problem here is this kind of ties back into everything I was already talking about. This is why the Crystarium itself kind of bothers me, is because leveling is more or less a vestigial feature of this game. If you removed the stat ups and flattened everything, and just made it so that you would periodically get new abilities or whatever, the gameplay wouldn't change. Yeah, now whether or not it is an objective problem will depend on how they do the balancing. That's true, most players like seeing numbers go up. But to be completely frank, if you just had, you have now leveled, and nothing changes. Like, the numbers get bigger, but, like, in terms of time to beat, nothing changes. Like, that's, it's kind of insulting at that point, but you could do that, right? Oh, man, we hit level 15 now. Bob in the back. Has anything changed? No, but I'm one level higher. My numbers have gone up. I swear there's an RPG out there, I can't remember the name of it, where they do exactly what I'm talking about. They cheat. They lie about your level and about your damage, and overall, what you're actually doing with every attack is percentage damage. And so the numbers are fluff. They don't exist.
Wisdom does come with age.
Because after all, if all the player cares about is the number going up, well, here we go.
I'll do what I can.
Just as I was getting used to things.
Wait, hang on. stronger or anything? No. Okay, doesn't matter then. I'm not disagreeing with you, Bladeval. I just think it's kind of silly how, in reality land, it really is possible that it would be better off to just straight up lie to the players than to have what is effectively an absence of balance and progression. It's just funny to think about, really. But yeah, no, I know this sounds like an insult, but the more I play this game, the more it feels like the PS3 version of Mystic Quest. From some people, that would be like a huge burn. I actually like Mystic Quest, so, you know, shrug. Oh, and just to demonstrate, yes, I do know that you could do that. Well, okay, fair. Blade's your fault. I've actually been thinking about this for a while. You remember how I mentioned there were 2 of my old reviews I'm not happy with? Well, one of them is Mystic Quest, and one of them is Homeworld Cataclysm. Homeworld Cataclysm is going to be re-audited as a consequence of the Homeworld block. Mystic Quest is like an 8-hour game. I think I'm just going to replay it. I think we're just going to do another review of Mystic Quest on camera and say screw it. Just be nice and thorough about it. Sorry.
You should see your daddy now.
Here we go. Nothing to it.
Here's a question, Brown Jacket. You said Hope is your least favorite, although still good. Who's your favorite character? So, I hate to keep bashing this game, but you notice how we can't afford anything yet? These are basic-ass weapon upgrades that don't really increase our damage all that much. And they are way out of our price range. These are double the price we could get. Oh, no. No, hang on. So, obviously, we just don't have the gil, right? Well, what you're supposed to do is go down here. Nothing tells you this. Nothing has... In fact, I'm going to keep not doing this because nothing has continued to tell me this. The whole rule I've been using here is I'm only doing stuff that the game is conveying to me. Nothing anywhere has told me what the components are yet. In fact, nothing has actually told me the components exist yet. Yeah, I wasn't even going to mention the fact that weapon upgrades exist in this game, which, as a reminder, the game has not mentioned yet. Hi, Zero. So about them crystal tools, right? Yeah, Blateville posited, I think earlier today, that we might have a capital P problem in the overall itemization of the game. Between equipment, gil, mats, crafting, weapon upgrades, you know, basically all the stuff that's part of that whole circle. And I'm starting to think that he might be right.
Time to pull the old switcheroo. No.
Take that!
guys lead.
The what? Saber for wife?
Time to pull the old switcheroo.
Or do I even want to know? Oh, it's a gambling app. Oh, that's great. Would you like to gamble? Would you like to gamble more? Give us more of your money. Give us your money. Give us your freaking money. Sorry. Don't give me your money. Don't do it. Don't do it. Isn't that currently going through, like, a lawsuit? Or am I misremembering? I don't know, it might be one of them. There's a lot of gambling apps, especially sports gambling, which has been getting noticeably worse in the last about 10 years or so. That's always awesome. I would love to have a designer's insight into some of the more objective problems with crystal tools. Not actually joking. I know the engine sucks. Everyone knows the engine sucks. There's a reason they stopped using it. But yeah, no, Crystal Tools was a huge fumble from a company that had just fumbled and was trying to recover from the previous fumble. It is without hyperbole to say that Square Enix nearly died because of Crystal Tools. That's not a joke, for those of you in chat. So no, I would legitimately and unironically love it if you want to share some. You don't have to give me an essay. Whatever you feel like sharing, with what little time you have.
Wait for me. Hurry up.
I sometimes wonder if the Ultra Rich have enough of a brain to understand how bad it would be if they really did have all the money. Because I don't think they do. I don't think they understand that.
What do you suppose that is?
Let me just pull this out. If you used a genie wish to make it so that the Ultra Rich had all the money in the world, things would get bad extremely fast. Alright, what we got? What we got? Whoops, that's already maxed. Yeah, you know what? If you want to just post it on Discord, I will pull up Discord and read it on camera. Best of both worlds. While we're here. I don't actually know, Saber for Life. Really? I don't. Is she capped? Oh, no, she's not. She's just being dumb. She is almost... Just to put this in perspective, Lightning is almost capped. Yeah, no, exactly, Brown Jacker. That's exactly right. It's just, do you have any idea what you're doing? No. Okay, cool. No, they want peasants in the dirt, and then they want to eat nice things. And that's really what that boils down to, when you really, really, really break it down. So I mentioned I got to a specific fight and put the game down.
Pulse armament.
And that's bad for us, isn't it?
You have eyes, don't you?
Also, anybody's played FF14, this guy should look familiar. Yeah, this is it. This is the fight. So, it doesn't matter. I do like the boss song. Mini boss song? I don't know. It's a good song. No, I know. Like I said, I put the game down on this fight. I guess I'm just spending some time, buffing her. So, that reminds me of a question. Can anyone do some due diligence on this for me, please? I would like to know what the easy mode difficulty changes, because it didn't exist when I was playing this game. It was something they patched in later, I believe for the Xbox version. Thank you, Rex. I appreciate it. It's obviously relevant for the review, but again, I honestly don't even know what it does, because I never had easy mode. And it's relevant to Walker's question. Like, for example, some games I can recommend more broadly if they have an easy mode, something that'll enable you to get through it without too much issue. Depends on the Final Fantasy, Elizar. Almost every FF is its own thing, so... Whee! 7 is substantially lower tier than Warcraft. 7 is like level 20-30 range for Warcraft.
Incoming.
Is he still... Did it get rid of my break? Oh, you jackass! It got rid of my buffs, too! You asshole! 13's a little bit higher. 13's probably closer to like level, say 50-60 range. 13.3 is arguably much higher level than WoW, because 13.3 is insane. 13.3 basically involves starting a new Big Bang. Put it into simple terminology. Thank you, Zero. Give me 1 second. Huh. Okay, let's try it.
I appreciate it.
Let's finish buffing up. Let's get ready for that next one when it comes. Let's get our healer back and start doing some damage. He's still weak to... Okay, yes. He's still not weak to it, I should say. No, 13... Yeah, 13.3's tiering. So, I talk about stakes versus scale, right? Stakes is how much something matters. Scale is the size, the quantity of the matters. Which I know is a weird way to put that, but you know what I mean, right? You can have a story about the end of the world, but have really low stakes because we're just totally detached from it. There's nothing to make us care. It's just billions of lives lost. And the human brain just looks at that and sees a number and doesn't really process it, right? I'm not saying 13.3 does it. I'm giving an example. Anyways, so 13.3 has really high scale. It is bonkers high tier. It's one of the reasons why Lightning is definitively and objectively the highest tier protagonist in the Final Fantasy series. It's because, Jesus, not many games have you playing as the goddess of death, you know? Oh, you know what?
Time to pull the old switcheroo!
God damn it, I just switched to do more damage to you because you're broken. Fine, fine, let's heal. Let's heal.
No. I owe ya.
Yeah, pretty much, Sar. You could have a story about someone who's really worried about a dinner going badly for their boss, and that could be very high stakes, depending on how you do the story. Very low scale, very high stakes. You can also do both. These are not mutually exclusive. FF14 is way up there, yeah. I don't think 14 is at the level of 13.3, but 14 probably beats everything else. You know, hang on. While I'm doing this, because... Put this up here. Real talk, I would put Clive below the Warrior of Light. And I mean, obviously, Clive is below her. Okay, so here's difficulty. Here we go. Less HP, easier to stagger. Party members take less damage. Healing abilities are... Okay, I'm sorry. I reread that like 4 times. Let me say this out loud. In easy mode, enemies below 50 have less HP and are twice as easy to stagger, while higher level enemies are 50% easier to stagger. Party members take 33% less damage, and the healing abilities are 33% less effective. The timer for Doom is twice as long. Gestalt gauge, it fills quicker. Eidolons also have 50% higher Gestalt count. We haven't even covered that mechanic yet. Although drop rates for normal items are increased, rare drops are even more rare. Interesting. We'll circle back to that, because that's going to be some discussion, I think. Yeah. I mean, considering you could swap between difficulty on the fly, that sort of makes sense. A Final Fantasy game that Aragorn could beat? I mean, honestly, the closest he would probably have a chance at is 1, which is one of the lowest tiers of the FFs. So... Let me chew on this for a second. So it's health and damage, which is the usual. But it also affects Doom timer. It also makes Gestalt different. It also reduces drop rates. What are we feeling on that? One way or another, it's a positive you can swap on the fly. That's kind of a separate positive. I will go ahead and be ignorant here, Zira, and say, what's the difference? Actually, no, Elazar, believe it or not. I mean, it's silly and it's fun, and I'm happy about that. But, like, nah, I'm good. So I'm reading the thing that Zero said. I'll go ahead and read this out loud while I'm finishing up this boss fight. TLDR. It was their first attempt at a unified platform engine, which required very explicitly trained information on how to operate it. That, and they were actively building FF13 along with it, which is something I've already mentioned, and having to teach people while the engine was being built, so most devs struggled with it, because there was not documentation to make it usable by new employees. Because it was meant for multiple games and platforms, it is very generalized and not optimized for any particular platform or hardware. So in the case of 14, they just generalized it and enhanced performance issues out the wazoo, because they didn't know the limits of what the engine was good at or struggled with. The engine was also subject to scope creep and project management, which affected 13's development. I was kind of thinking the same, Rex. And then the separate positive for the fact that you could swap it on the fly. The fact that it affects the Gestalt modes, the fact that it changes the Doom timer.
I appreciate it.
I'm kind of with it. The fact that they lowered drop rates is just an amusing addendum to everything else. Oh, hang on. There was actually more. Oh, it was not developed to use the standard. No FBX, no DDS. All designed to use an exclusive format for Crystal Tools, which caused issues with development speeds and general issues with developing models for the engine. Also try to lock down their assets. Oh my god. And yeah, the generalized... So, okay. Let me share a little bit of wisdom with you. Zira, if I say anything wrong, please correct me, okay? It's actually probably the easiest it's ever been to make an engine right now. I bet you every single person in chat, if you had the desire and initiative to do so, you could sit down and make an engine for the game you want to make. That's important. You could sit down and make an engine that is custom designed to make one game or one type of game, right? A very specific expression of what you want that engine to accomplish. People always praise id Tech, for example. But one of the things that needs to be remembered is that id Tech is crazy good at optimization and speed, while only having to render a fairly narrow field of view and mostly relying on AI that's going off camera, right? Yeah, Neverwinter Nights had the same thing too. So id Tech is very, very good at being an FPS. Let's just put it simply. Like, that's what it's great at. There's a reason id Tech games run crazy good. The more generalized you want your engine to be, the rougher it's going to be. That's almost a linear expression. Because wanting to make an engine for everything is, and I'm just going to be as nice as I possibly can about this, a fool's errand. You end up with Unity. And if you don't know what's wrong with Unity, I don't know where to start with that. Yeah, or Unreal. So, the reason I'm bringing all this up is because what Square wanted, what most of these big game companies do, and this is so stupid, they want to make their own in-house engine so they own it and they can push it out, which makes sense. I'm with them so far. Okay. And then they want to go ahead and make all of their games on that one engine because it takes time and R&D budget. So time budget and R&D budget in order to go ahead and make that engine. They want to get their maximum return on investment on that engine. And I know that sounds like, well, that doesn't sound like a bad thing. It's an extremely bad thing. Because what you end up with is Crystal Tools. Or, for anybody familiar with BioWare, you end up with Frostbite. Frostbite, it's worth noting, is actually a pretty good engine at what it's intended to do. Yeah, exactly. If all your games are the same, I'm actually pretty sure Trails of Blank, so the Trails of series, has done exactly this. And that works for them because all of their games are the same basic format, so that's fine. I'm glad you're enjoying Brown Jacket. Thank you. And yeah, their games run great because their engine is designed for their games, and they can iterate on it as they learn, as they develop the games, which is why the Trails of engine has gone through its development period as it's going. Honestly, a weird example, but WoW is a good example of this. The WoW engine, the Warcraft 3 engine, which was developed into the WoW engine, which was developed into the various versions of the WoW engines that it's been going through over the years, is designed to run a very responsive, high netcode, high, I don't know what to call this. I'll just say responsive. I'll just end the statement there. A very responsive, well-optimized, well-netcoded MMO. That is that MMO, and that's what it's designed to do, and nothing else, right? And so they can iterate on that engine for that game. You don't... You don't want a generic engine. That's arguably always been true. The reason Unity kind of broke into this space was specifically because it was such an incredibly easy-to-use engine it lowered the barrier to entry substantially. Good to know, Kennex Go. And that was arguably a good thing. But Unity just has always had issues. Unreal has always had issues. I mean, anybody who's been playing a lot of the modern games knows just how problematic there's like that default Unreal game, right? You know the one. Because you've probably seen it 100 times in the last year alone, right? I knew it, Zero. I demand that you break your NDA just for the sake of casual conversation. How dare. Yeah, no jokes for a second. It would not surprise me if the... Oh god, I can't remember the name of the studio. What's the studio that made Expedition 33? Clair Obscur. Sandfall. It would not surprise me if they turned some of the profits from that game over into making their own freaking engine. This is not an uncommon process. As Mook just said, Owlcat should have done this because Unity is still causing so many issues. Larian did do this. This was actually a while ago, but Larian did finally step away and start developing the thing. CD Projekt Red is another one that decided to develop their own engine. They sacrificed an entire game to develop that new engine. And let me tell you, that game had issues. Ignore the story axis completely for just a second. Witcher 2 on the gameplay axis was rough because they were developing a brand new engine while they were making it. Are they seriously going back to Unreal? Why? Whatever. Wait, I did? Rex? Whatever. Just... Listen, sir, I need you to tell me all the deets, or you're fired. Out of a cannon, into the sun. Just boom, it's over. Okay. Sorry about that. Well, they'd probably literally explode, Elizar. Just on the spot. Hey! Lightning can be a medic. Zaz can be a commando.
Pulse is crawling with things like that, isn't it?
Got me. Not even the Corps has access to intel on Pulse. Soldiers in the field fight blind.
Yeah, I noticed that. But don't you need to know exactly what you're up against?
Target's a target.
You like to keep it simple, don't you?
I stick to my goal.
As long as you have a goal, you can fight?
You can stay alive.
Edge Master. Sorry. You can upgrade weapons and accessories at save stations using your Omni Kit and various components you collect on your journey. Wow. After choosing upgrade, select the weapon or accessory you wish to improve. Next, you'll need to select the type of component you wish to use for the upgrade, as well as the quantity. The combined experience value of the components will then be applied to the target piece of the equipment. After enough experience has been spent on a weapon or accessory, its level will increase, improving attributes and abilities. Certain components bestow a bonus to any experience spent on any piece of equipment. By utilizing these components, you'll be able to make more efficient upgrades. Likewise, some components reduce an item's X bonus. Careful consideration is required. Once a particular piece has reached max potential, its level will be a star. At this point, no further advancement is possible, but the item can be transformed into an entirely different one by means of specialized components. When that happens, both its name and properties will change. A newly transformed item may seem weaker, but unlike its fully upgraded predecessor, it will be eligible for enhancement. Through further upgrades, it can be even more powerful than the previous incarnation. Oh, that sounds so Mobage. I know this predates Mobage, but wow. Oh yeah, here's dismantling. The equipment itself will be destroyed, but you'll be able to salvage the components. Makes us well over 100 different components. Yeah, I know! I know. I'm aware. Let's see what we think of that as we go. I'm gonna have to... I wasn't quite kidding. Like, a normal, everyday human doesn't have the capacity for channeling mana in their body. So, imagine you just dumped a gigantic pile of explosive radiation into your veins. What do you think would happen, Elizar? Mobage is my own term. It is mobile garbage. It was a term I had to come up with back in the day. Because when mobile games were first started, this is a long time ago now. I've been doing this for a long time. When mobile games first started, I felt that people kept being irritated that I was calling all mobile games garbage. So I decided to go ahead and distinguish between mobile games, which are a dying breed right now, but do still exist, and garbage. Mobile garbage. That's it. Okay, so do we just stick with the one we already have? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? I'll actually take advice on this, because I'm not sure what to do here, really. I have never played this guy, so I have no idea. Yep, I do remember when corpos were telling me that gaming was dead, and all games would be like mobile games. 10 years ago. I also remember the live service boom and then bust. Some people still haven't gotten the memo that live service games have already busted. If you don't mind, Rex, I'd love it. I'd appreciate you on that, because yeah, I'm kind of flying blind. Just leave this alone for now. I doubt I even have anything worth upgrading yet. Yeah, remember, games are all dead because it's all going to be AI in the future.
Not much of a future for us, huh?
Hard to picture a happy ending.
We don't even know where to go.
I do.
Huh?
There.
Eden? The Sanctum Seat of Power. Oh, that's a great idea. Just charge right in there. Give him a taste of Lassie terror. You're serious?
Keep running. It's die or turn Seath. There's no place for Lassie to hide. No. They want to fight. Let's take it to the Sanctum's door.
This isn't a game.
No. That's for damn sure. Started with Sarah. The Fal'Cie took her. Now I'm a Lassie too. And the Sanctum's hunting me, an enemy of the state. But who's pulling their strings? A Fal'Cie. Eden. Cocoon's sustainer and guiding light. It probably ordered the purge too. Pulse and Sanctum Fal'Cie, they're all the same. And we're all the same to them. Expendable. I'm not dying a Fal'Cie slave.
So, what are you gonna do?
Destroy it.
By yourself? Are you crazy? Say you pull it off, hmm? What's that get you? Satisfaction? Something happens to Eden, it's lights out Cocoon. You want that? You're a Pulse Lassie now, so you just want to snuff out Cocoon.
No! What about Sarah? She said to save Cocoon. It might even be our focus to make sure Cocoon's...
Our focus doesn't matter. I don't take orders from Fal'Cie. How I live is up to me.
Don't you mean how you die?
No, that's an FF16.
Think like that, and it's already over. Better to pick your path and keep moving. Don't worry. I'm after the Sanctum. I'm not out to destroy the world. If it did come to that, wonder if our hero'd try to stop me.
You want to fight Snow now? Just like that and your enemies?
Next time we meet, we might be too.
Also, I've always hated snow, so, you know, it's kind of relevant.
When the fear sank in, it tore us all apart. Lightning was suffering, reaching out to us,
Heroes don't need pants.
but none of us could see it.
Snow deserves it.
If only I'd been stronger, none of this ever would have happened.
I mean, Zaz continues to be legit.
I don't know what I should do.
How about we go to the Golden Saucer? Sorry.
Whoa!
Hey, you're taking care of me.
Well, it won't be if you keep pushing me like that.
I mean, when we get to the nest block, we'll be doing a bunch of those, Sion. So I suppose the answer is, by default, yes. I'd still charge an hour, though. Wind up and cooldown time.
I can't babysit you anymore.
I can fight. I'm not afraid.
Well, good time to prove it.
Great. A SciComm hit squad.
Why haven't you fired yet? You're here to kill us. What? Shoot! You have guns! Use them! Anyways, I hope you not like the next, 6 hours of the game, because we're down to 2 party members for most of it. Sorry, I forgot to say thank you earlier. Thank you for the sub, Sion. Give me a moment here. Yeah, where do they place the bombs? Shoot her! Shoot her! So it's going towards Dawn of War. 4 Dragon Age. 4 Age of Empires. 4 divided by 2. There we go. And thank you again, Sion. Okay. So, let's see here. Hold fire! They're currently giving each other a speech. Sir, shouldn't we just shoot? No, do you not understand the rules of oh god. I can't remember what it's called. There's an actual real life term for that. Rules of engagement. Do you not understand the rules of engagement, sir? You are supposed to wait until the party has done having the dramatic moment. You'll be able to know exactly when you go open a fire when they pull their weapons out and start charging at us. Okay, sir, I'm ready. Got my gun. Got my gun. Okay, waiting. Are they making out? Now see, that's a double joke. Because it's lightning and hope and... Anyways. Yeah, lore typing. Yeah, good thing light hope isn't like, say, 24 right about now. I know, Ross, I know. Like, we all talk about that as a joke, but no, it's a thing. Okay. Back into it. What are we? Common Rav. Sure, whatever.
Here!
Not bad.
Really? Thanks.
It's okay. You would be surprised how often someone will donate for a review that I've already done. It's always a little discouraging. You know, it's just like, you can see it on the website, and you can see it on the YouTube channel, and you can see it on my Twitch channel, and it's mentioned in Discord. But no, it's okay. Thank you, Narset. I do always appreciate you. I know what brain fog feels like. She be a harsh mistress, yar. So I will jot that down. Damn it, Mr. Red. No! Okay, so that's going towards Dungeon Siege 2, Persona 3R, and Heaven's Vault. There it is. Better and worse than I thought so far. I've never had someone donate for a game I was currently running. To date.
Uh-oh. Army's out to play.
What now?
What now? I mean, we could stay here, but shouldn't we...
Run?
Huh?
We should run. If we rush in now, we'll just get in her way.
You know, you're right. I guess. I mean, it's not like lightning needs any help.
I mean, I know Ross is not going to appreciate this if he's even listening to this, but the Mario 3 audit I did during the dark
Soldiers. We should keep moving.
really codified this concept for me.
Are you worried about the others? I'm sure they got away okay.
So can you if you leave now. With me, it'll be fight after fight. I don't know how it'll end. It's anybody's guess.
I know that. But I need to be stronger.
I can only level when I'm with you.
Lightning,
Call me Light.
what's the plan from here?
Through the Gapra Whitewood to Palampolum. We'll find transport to Eden.
I live in Palampolum. I can show you all the shortcuts.
No side trips.
No need. I don't think Lassie are welcome at home.
So yeah, now we've got our two parties, and let me just say, from a purely gameplay perspective, I think this was a mistake. I'm not saying that I'm going to give it a negative yet. I don't do that. We'll see as we go. But by memory, this is when the gameplay really started to fumble again. Yes, I know. Again, but whatever. It's the action economy thing all over again. Final Fantasy games always struggle when they reduce your party size, unless they do something to compensate for it.
I'm gonna go look ahead.
I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole on this, but Final Fantasy VI has several sections where it deliberately reduces your party size and then immediately compensates you for that by changing the type of encounters you'll fight in that section to accommodate the fact that you just have Celeste or you just have Locke and Terra, for example. Yeah, no, at this point in the game, they know exactly who our party members are, so the fights should be completely tailored to these duos. Whether they are or not is something I'm going to be paying attention to as we go through these sections. What I was saying, Ross, is one thing that really... Yeah, Forked Tower is a great example of how to do this right. When I did a full replay of Mario 3 during the recent Dark, because I wanted to do a full audit of it. And because I was playing it for the lore runny. And while I was there, I touched up the review, and I was like, oh man. And I honestly thought the score was going to go way up. And I remember the back of my mind thinking, Ross is going to be so happy. And then the score barely changed. And this ties into what Valerian just mentioned, is that when you're doing these kind of reviews, everything kind of comes more into focus. It doesn't necessarily change the overall feeling. The vibe check of X out of 10 tends to not move very much. But the specific nuance of why, that does. Like, I honestly hope at least someone goes back and checks the Mario 3 review now. Because the review itself is far more detailed than it used to be. That's actually true for a lot of runs. I did a lot of auditing during this Dark. Like I said, Earthbound's up to code now, too. Among others. You know what the hardest one to audit was? Dragon Age Origins. And I know that sounds like a weird one. But the problem was, so... I'm going to tell you about procedures, okay? Nobody thinks about procedures. Everyone thinks about procedures, and they think, ugh, boring meetings and wasting time on dumb paperwork. But procedures are important because doing things slightly better can pay dividends, especially down the road. Mr. Ed could actually tell you about this, because I know he got much, much better about editing when doing the highlight reels. And it got to the point where he had templates, and he knew exactly what shortcuts to use for which things. And the whole process got way smoother, because he had procedures in place. Yeah, exactly. You hone your craft, you get better. You get the idea. One of the things I used to do, to my great embarrassment... let's do this. So I needed to be able to enter all of the points that I gave a specific game into the audit sheet. And it is by far easiest to do that, to alphabetize them. The problem was, I wouldn't then de-alphabetize them. So several of the old reviews on the site were in alphabetical order. And so from the perspective of someone who's just hitting the site for the first time, or just looking up a review for the first time, they would see Dragon Age Origins, and the first positive to story they would see was something nonsense. I don't remember what it is now, but it was something bizarre that had nothing to do with anything, because it was the positive that had to do with it was animations, I'm almost positive. So, like, that's not helpful. So I had to go back, sit down, and reorganize the entire Dragon Age Origins review to be in narrative order, which is what I do now. If it says you probably haven't actually seen, there's a specific order of how I tend to put the specific points in a review. And it tends to be like generic stuff up top, stuff that just applies to the whole game, like interface, menuing, save system, difficulty options, stuff like that. And then the actual content I try to do in order going through the document. So someone please go look at the Dragon Age Origins review and give me like an ooh and an ah, because I spent way too much time just editing that document to make it up to code. You don't have to. That's your procedures thing right there. That's the kind of thing I spent a lot of the time in this dark going back and polishing up. And might spend in the future when I have to do another dark, either at the end of this month or the beginning of the next month, depending on how that lines up. You know what? I'll take the crepes. So first of all, thank you, Rax, very much. No, so I actually did play Mega Man 4. I actually did a full re-audit, sit down and actually replay the game of Mega Man 4. So Mega Man 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all very up to code and very properly edited and reviewed. That's as far as I got before I was like, you know what, I want to get all of the other reviews up to code first. And then I was doing all of that. And then I found out that I'm going to have to evacuate this room sometime later this month, which obviously is going to have an issue for me streaming. And I realized that I could either take a 2-month dark, or I could cut the dark off early, come back to streaming, do the LGAs, do the WoWGAs, play FF11, and then take another dark later and hope that that one's relatively short. And I'll use that time to finish all of that extra off-camera stuff that I didn't actually finish doing. I wanted to start my movie reviews off-camera. Couldn't even do that. It's just so frustrating. Not you, Rex, the whole situation. I can't seem to sit and stream without constantly getting interrupted. It is very, very stressful. What is the definitive edition of Mario 3? The SNES one. Easy answer. So, the SNES one is basically the NES one, but with better brickwork, like we did some side-by-side comparisons as we were going through of the visuals of the SNES one to the NES one. The SNES one is night and day better. There's so many areas, so many biomes and palettes that are just so much improved on the SNES one. It controls the same, it's the same basic levels, it's designed for the same screen size, so it doesn't have the crunch issue or the controls issues, and it has a save system. So Mario All-Stars is, I would say, without hesitation, the definitive way to play Mario 3 at this point. Now, sorry, I'm not just sitting here because I'm boring, dumb, and terrible. I need to double check something here. No, not the handheld. No. So I actually went back. I didn't even tell you this, I don't think. And pulled out my own SP and started playing Mario 3 on the GBA. And it was the GBA one. You're right, Bladeval. It still played just a little bit wrong. And that coincides with something that I've suspected for a while, because the GBA in general just controls a little bit wrong. I'm not even sure how to put it into words, because I can't tell you what it is. It almost feels like it eats input periodically, but very inconsistently. It's hard to really put into words. And you don't really notice it until you're playing something like Donkey Kong Country, or Mario 3, or whatever, on the GBA one. So I just double-checked, FF13-2 isn't actually on the list anywhere. I am a little surprised by that. I sort of figured we added that. No, that makes perfect sense, Ross. If it's a problem with my GBA, it is also a problem with my emulator. Because I had the exact same issue on the emulator. And that's a little coincidental at that point. Like, I'm not saying no, but like I said, that's a little weird at that point. Okay. Wah! FF13-2 added to list. Thank you for donating to more Final Fantasy 13. I'm actually looking forward to reviewing 13-2, legitimately, someday. I'm in no rush. This is the only one. This and 11 are the only ones I was really in a hurry on. (13-3). Exclamation mark Q. Yeah, exactly, Blackdwell. So, do I want to review FF13-3? See, this is kind of a weird one for me. Oh, I haven't scanned this thing. I guess I can do that really quick. I mean, I don't have to be a completionist. I do not have to play the Final Fantasies in order. And remember, I have already decided pretty firmly that I am not going to re-review FF15. I do not think it is worth the time and effort. So that will always remain a hole in my review system, and I'm okay with that. I'll think about it. And that's good. I think that's going to be my answer. I really haven't put a lot of thought into it. No, I haven't, Ross. Oh, you mean FF15. Sorry. Yes, you are correct. Sorry. Yes, as of this moment, FF15 is vetoed. I think it's on the veto page, isn't it? Should be. If it isn't, I'll add it right now. Did I not update the game? Oh my god, there's so much paperwork. Hang on. You see what I mean? I am constantly doing paperwork to do all this stuff, and I'm still falling behind. I have streamed 13.2 and 13.3. I did a lore run of 13.2 and 13.3. I recommend them. They're good lore runs. The whole FF lore run is actually still something I'm proud of, even though it's like 9 years old. I am quite satisfied with that. I just noticed the LGAs are still on the upcoming page, which actually is accurate, because they're still, you know, that's still coming. The LGAs are still happening. Admittedly, I tend to not add games to the veto list unless I think it's really necessary to. But just to make sure. Final Fantasy 15. Executive veto. Oh, I give reasons now, don't I? Executive veto, comma, no purpose is what I'm going to call that. There's no real reason to re-audit FF15. Boom. Don't mistake me, I have actually been quite a defender of FF15 for many years, but that's mostly because I understand just how bad you think the FF13 had a bad behind the scenes. FF15 was a mess. It might actually be one of the messiest games I've ever covered. In fact, I would go so far as to say I think the only game I've ever reviewed that is as much of a mess behind the scenes as FF15 was Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Nothing. No sign it's been activated. Huh? Who's there?
You have a gun. You have a gun! Oh my god! Just auto-fire. I don't know who Roger C. Smith is, but he sounds like an awesome dude. Or a terrible dude. But probably a dude, either way.
What was SciComm doing here?
Probably thought we'd try and use a pulse machine to escape.
Maybe we should try it. What does this do?
Hey, you're gonna hurt yourself. Don't touch that.
Wait, what if it works?
Leave it.
I told
Happy
you.
cartoony music.
Stop! Stop already! I think I got it. Right! I think I can work this!
So then, yeah, this happens. And I'm not sure what to make of this section. They never do this again, do they? I legitimately don't remember. These Herculean combat machines are capable of clearing away enemy hordes with mighty blows or simply trampling over foes who stand in their path. Attacking within consumes power, but breaking fences recharges. Oh, they do once. Okay. Yeah, by the way, remember how we talked about how the Vile place, I can't think of the name of all of a sudden? Vile Peaks is too long. We're still here. Yes, this is very much intended to be a hyper beam section. 100%. It's cool. Things can be fun. Fun can be fun. I actually do like the looks of the Dreadnoughts. And Hope gets crushed by the mech. Game instantly gets better.
Nice landing. Let's get moving.
Just need a minute. I'm still a bit winded.
You're
All right.
too soft.
Wait up!
It kind of depends, Scion. But yeah, the asterisk is definitely there. Some games, a remaster just isn't substantial enough to really qualify for new game status. And in some games, it really is. And obviously, anything that qualifies as a full remake would qualify as well as a new game. There's a few times where I think it's debatable as to whether it qualifies for, you know, something that deserves to be a replay or whatever. Anyway, sorry, so you asked about Dawn of War 4. Each race in the campaign has 2 sub-factions with missions exclusive to each. So, have you played Command & Conquer 1, Scion of the Emperor? Because I have specific thoughts on this.
Hope we find another one of those things.
Ironically, Command & Conquer 2 did the same concept better, but we'll get back to that in a second. Okay, so the reason I bring it up is there's only like, what, 12 missions in the Command & Conquer campaign, except that's a lie, it's close to 20. But the thing is, at several points, you could do 8A or 8B, right? You have a choice. And you get one of the 2 exclusive missions, and it's relative based on your choices. So it's more or less the same concept as what you're defining. Now, that's a cool idea. It adds to some replay value. And in practice, it almost always sucks. And the reason why is because from the development perspective, what they've done is rather than make 12 missions and really polish the 12, they made 20. And they had to stretch themselves out more. So some of those choices back in Command & Conquer 1 are just objectively better missions, right? They're just better designed. They spent more time and effort on like 8B, I think it was. I actually have notes about this, as opposed to 8A, right? And so that's my knee-jerk thought, is it's a neat idea in theory, but in practice, I rarely see that kind of mission choice thing pulled off well. Now, to contradict myself, Command & Conquer 2 did this well, because what Command & Conquer 2 did was it would have like a micro mission, which was optional. And the micro mission had its own little private objective, and you go do that, cool, you're done. Once that was done, that actually changed the main mission. Like certain enemies wouldn't spawn, or one of the bases just won't be there, or whatever. It's some benefit, right? Completely optional, don't have to do it, but it changes the nature of the main mission, usually making it easier. That can work. I don't think that's what they're going to do in Dawn of War 4, I just thought I'd mention it. I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that with PFR, because, like, doing each campaign, what would that be, 3 times? 2 times, I guess, actually. I'll have to think about that when we get closer to it. Like, obviously, committing to that for Warhammer 3 is very different, because each campaign is pretty demonstrably different, right? Committing to that for Dawn of War 4, well, we'll get there. Yeah, I actually got a really nice compliment yesterday. I will not say who did it, so they don't stab me with sticks.
The road splits here. Which way do we go?
I don't remember the exact wording, but it boiled down to that they were thankful the fact that I was actually sitting down and doing a proper analysis and review of goods and bads, rather than just whinging about the same talking points everyone's been talking about for a decade and a half. Jesus.
Just stay out of my way.
Yes, Dawn of War 4, I don't think it's even out yet. Yeah, it's supposed to come out this year. A lot of RTS stuff coming out this year. Hi, Morganite. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're finally getting an RTS boom again. Hi, Blue Wolf.
Here. Thank you.
Yep, we're at the split group thing. Speaking as someone who legitimately thinks StarCraft 2 is the best RTS ever made, I still would like other RTSs, please. Can we make that a thing? Anyways. See, that's the problem. We need more Xenoblade 2 in FF13. Points if you get it. Yeah, Age of Empires 2. The more I look at the Age of Empires 2 review, the more I think I'm going to split that up into multiple reviews. It's just, it's too big. It's too big with too many campaigns, and it's just, it's spiraling wildly out of control. But think of the chest size racks.
It was a lot easier when we didn't have to walk.
So I was about to say, who would be horny for anybody in Three Houses? And then I remember that one teacher, who you can romance. Ugh. Age of Sigmar was such a disappointment. The game, not the setting or whatever. I have no idea what the setting. Well, lightning will now have resist lightning. I'm kidding, we're not gonna do that. That'd be funny, though. True, Ross. Oh, Three Houses. That's another game that I want to cover, but damn, you know? What really frustrates me about Three Houses is I actually really did like that game. It just drove me bonkers because it was so freaking long. I don't mean like it was empty. It had a lot of empty length to it. Is how I would describe that. I'm curious of something. Hang on a sec. Yeah, we only did one path, and it was just. Whew. I've heard good stuff about Nagash, but I really don't know much about him. What do you have on right now? The Gladius, okay. Yeah, we did Black Eagles, that is correct. There it is, Gladius. Okay, I have a lot of these. Yeah, Trails kind of sits in the same space for me. I am overall quite net positive, mentally at least, on the Trails series. And looking forward to more, it's just, oh, God. Yeah, Trails is a bunch of very long RPGs. Good RPGs by all accounts. But the quality is not the problem. The problem is the time commitment. Yeah, Yakuza is another kind of an issue with the same exact problem. It's like, I really want to play through the Yakuza game someday, but like... Old school RuneScape is 100% vetoed. For 3 big reasons. Reason number 1, all MMOs are vetoed except for the ones we have already covered or are already on the books. So yeah, that's just kind of locked in there. Reason number 2, let's just do this. There we go. Reason number 2, I would rather eat rusty nails than play old school RuneScape. Reason number 3 is the fact that, as you just said, something like old school RuneScape is kind of resistant to review. Like, right now, we're currently in the middle of working on a review of FF11. FF11 is a bit of a chonker, but it's still relatively doable.
Just stay out of my way.
Imagine that, but... oh, I don't know. 10 times the content. Easy. And most of it much more obscure and sloggier, and requiring, you know, a walkthrough the entire time. Also, old school RuneScape is, by its very definition, an old school MMO, which... I'm trying to think how to phrase this in a way that doesn't sound like an insult, because I don't mean it as one. isn't a video game in the traditional sense, is how I think I'm going to define that. We talked about the concept of time killer games, right? That's kind of a lot of what an old style MMO is. It is a time killer. The goal is to sit there and burn some time doing something enjoyable. And I know what you're thinking. Isn't that all video games? No. Most video games have things like an end screen, or defined content, or points to it, right? Old school MMOs were designed to be chat rooms with occasional things you could look at in between chats. That's not hyperbole, that's not presumptive, that's just what they were. It's like Blade Tabal over there. Or my stream, if you want to get down to it. I've got some stuff going on screen. Most of you probably haven't been paying attention to it, which is fine. Oh, it's got some great music, it's got some cool features. An interesting community, is how we're going to describe that.
No problem.
Where does the boomerang go? Okay. I'm gonna let it go. Thank you, Blade Chaval, very much for the donation. I can't believe we're still in the frickin' Battle Peaks. I can't believe this. I know I've been pausing periodically, but I haven't really been pausing that much. We haven't had a stop and talk moment in a while. How so, Blade? So we'll put that towards Dragon Age 4, Star Ocean 2, then nominate it, Pokemon Legends ZA. Thank you, Blade Chaval. Always appreciate. That's really weird. I'm actually curious how that happened. Because yeah, we're not even there yet, so that shouldn't be in the template. Let's check the template really quick here. No, the template is 3:16:26. Yeah, okay. So I guess I just didn't adjust the template. Oh, that's easy to fix. More paperwork. So what is it actually? 7:27:23. 7:27:23. It's underwhelming so far, Scion. It looks very cool. It has much less survivability than the other specs do. Hi, Sean. And obviously the Apex talents being missing aren't really helping anything. But I enjoy it. I still think it's a good spec. The worst spec in WoW is still better than most games ever managed, so that doesn't really shock me any. Yeah, the biggest problem I had with it is it feels like they were leaning extremely heavily on I-beams, to the point where it's almost the only thing you're supposed to focus on. Wait, seriously? The Voyager game is that soon? Ugh. I hope it's good. The demo was good. Just not as indicative as you'd think. I mean, that event is in there. So, it's a choose-your-own-adventure tower management sim. You remember when we played Mind Over Magic recently? Think that, except the tower, the buildings you're managing is the ship of Voyager. Think Fallout Shelter. That's actually probably a better thing that people are aware of. And this is when Giga says, "What's Fallout Shelter?" And then I just give up. I just give up. The demo's really good. Unironically, I liked it a lot. I will go ahead and spoil a minor thing for you, just to kind of get across the idea of what kind of game this is.
Stay sharp.
At the end of the... So the demo is the first episode, Caretaker, right? And at the end of Caretaker, you can decide to just go home. You know, take the array and head back to the Alpha Quadrant. Go back to Earth. And then the game doesn't stop. And you keep playing for a little bit. It's not long, but like you have this extended ending sequence where you're given further choices, at which point you can decide whether or not you will give the Maquis a head start on getting away, and what you'll do with Tom, now that Tom has served his purpose. And you could be really evil, which is what I did, of course. And you can make it so that you just throw Chakotay right into prison, and throw Tom right back into prison. And the whole time, you're just being like, no. Death to everything. Like it's... They lean into it pretty hard. It is quite amusing. Hello, Evo. I'm still on the same stage. I'm going to be on this stage all day. Like, I know this.
This isn't working. Huh? I mean, you're a liability. You'll just slow me down.
He's your healer, you twat.
Sorry, but I can't protect you when...
You can't leave me here. You gotta take me with you.
Enough! The whole world is against us. I can barely keep myself alive. Let alone some helpless kid!
That or campaigns. I'm not sure which side.
Baby, you want to get tough? Do it on your own! This cannot be happening.
So this is her lowest moment. Remember, canonically. That's what's going on here. Okay, let's do this. All I have to do is hit this button and I'll know exactly how to raise the Gestalt bar. Oh, crap. Okay, hang on. Let me go Google this. Hang on. This might count. What do we got here? Lowest points so far. Oh, God. Here we go. Okay. So I need to fill the chain gauge. That's the goal here. All right. I feel like that'd be double Ravager then, wouldn't it? Okay, Hope's dead. Jesus Christ! Oh my God! I'm just gonna let this happen. I'm just gonna... yeah, okay, we're dead. Whoa, whoa. Okay.
Like that.
Yep. We're at our lowest moments. Our Eidolon kills us. You know what's really funny? I've been paying attention. Nothing anywhere conveys that you need a Commando and Ravager combo. If you're paying attention at the beginning of the game, it says Commando does damage, whereas Ravager raise chains. Now, what kind of information do you think you'd pull from that particular bit of tutorialization? I should probably go ahead and pop this so they have the automatic thing. Please, 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 please. Hope's dead. God, no, to quack. Okay, I'm just gonna let this happen. Yep, okay. So we're dead! Okay!
Like that.
Okay. This is a thing that's happening. I hope you have fun on it, to quack. For this exact fight, I'm gonna change this over to here. That's true. I should have licked his boots. It's my fault. I have no idea, Sion. I have to do a tech test for a game on the streamability gap. That sounds like it's modern enough that it would be an issue, so probably. Okay, there we go.
Let's go!
Good God!
Take down the enemy.
And Hope is dead. I can't even. I can't even. There's no grinding. I'm basically... Lightning is capped! I even upgraded her friggin' weapon.
Follow my lead! Let's go!
Triple positive. Could you imagine? No, okay, fair. You're joking. Sorry. In the moment, I didn't catch that you were joking. But, like, it needs to be emphasized for the players at home. I am level capped right now. This is not actually a joke. Lightning, in specific, is actually level capped. She cannot raise her stats at the moment. So there's no go and level. It's not even an option. Because, good lord. Oh god, could you imagine if we had to do this without Hope? That'd be even worse. Yeah, notice we are all about a third of our time left. I don't even know what our goal is on the chain. So I think that's about to be dinner time.
No. No,
Hello. Oh, wait. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Okay, we're okay. I'll be down in a bit, okay?
Okay, you're trying to defeat this one first?
Yep, this is a big boss of Doom. And I am trying to defeat the big boss of Doom. Please cast the heals. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, he hits hard. Okay. Switch back over. Come on. I have 100... Oh, there! Oh my god! I had 100 left on the timer. Did you see that?
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Until you died?
Yeah, no, I was very close to dying. And there's Gungnir. And Odin. Jeez Louise. I got 5 stars! Woo!
Dude, I can never get 5 stars from the mini
I
games.
give you 1 star.
And the mini games of Blu-ray, I really only get 3, 2, 1, or 4.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god, look.
Yeah.
Whoa. Your brand looks different. Was that an Eidolon? Like Lassie can summon?
Magic and mumbo jumbo. I must have hit my head on that purge train.
Am I really in your way? I'll do better. I'll try harder.
We'll toughen you up.
Huh?
I'm sorry about before.
Just immediate turnaround there, by the way. Please tell me I have a save after that. Do we get a save? I don't see a save. Oh, there's a save behind us. Okay, we'll go save her. So it sounds like we're cutting off for the day, but tomorrow we're still in the Vile Peaks.
You can say.
Because we're never leaving the Vile Peaks. Ever! We're 10 hours into the game, and we're in the Vile Peaks! Ah!